in terms of not knowing anything, can any of you explain to me, because we had a good laugh at the expense of Drew Lock this offseason when Drew Lock lost his job to Geno Smith. Can any of you explain to me how Russell Wilson goes to Denver and looks incompetent and Geno Smith is now completing 75.2% of his passes? He's completing 3/4 of his passes. Second place on that list at 70%. Like, this is Drew Brees stuff, 75% of your passes. Second place on that list is Stafford, but he's 5 percentage points back, which means the distance between Geno Smith and Stafford is the distance, according to Field Yates, between Stafford and the 16th ranked quarterback in the league. As I watch Aaron Rodgers clearly be hurt by the loss of Devontae Adams and others. He's always thrown the ball a lot behind the line of scrimmage, but he's doing it more now than he has done it. And it's at least in part, the field just has gotten really small on the Packers because they don't have deep threats. And as I do quarterback measurements, I didn't have anybody. Tony, did you hear anybody telling us that Geno Smith was going to be what Geno Smith has been?
Dan, in fact, I did. In Tony's top 5 from week 4, my number one observation was they wrote Geno off. He didn't write back. Obviously, that was week 4, and he hasn't done anything but do better since then. But a lot of the stuff we're talking about in scheme related is Russell. We know now that Russell would go in and change the plays that were being called, and the whole idea of let Russ cook was actually the antithesis of the Seahawks being good. So now Geno Smith is buying into the offensive scheme, and he's doing well, right? Like, maybe this is what Russell could have been if he would have trusted the offensive scheme that the Seahawks were running.
But it's still a misevaluation from everyone. He was the backup to.
It's been 8 years of misevaluation.
I want to know who the other, like, where are the other Geno Smiths right now? Who are the other backup quarterbacks that are, like, just sitting around that could be starters in this league?
To answer your question, Dan, there is one analyst, Stephen Ruiz of The Ringer, has been saying for years that Geno Smith deserves a starting job and that Geno Smith has been held down by either bad decisions by coaches. But I mean, he was bad with the Jets, but a lot of people are. And some people saw some inherent skill there. For me, the thing that's most impressive about him is not even just his raw completion percentage. NFL Next Gen Stats have this stat called completion percentage above expected. They sort of measure each throw against the coverage that you're throwing, the distance down the field, and he is 10 percentage points above where he expected to be on the basis of the throws that he's made. And the next two guys on the list are oddly New Orleans Saints, both Jameis and Andy Dalton from his one game. But the rest of the guys are 2, 1.9, 1.8% above expected. Geno Smith is 9.5% above expected. He's not just playing, he's playing so much better than he would expect it to be.
His Jets career, the signature moment is to be the last punched in the face controversy we had before the Draymond Green controversy that Colin Cowherd is now presenting because he's in business with Draymond Green, as Draymond lovingly and good teammate caught Jordan Poole as he fell to the ground. Billy, why is your head in your hands every time Tony talks?
Tony?
Yes, because he went to his notes.
Well, you ask him, did you hear any football people say that this is what we expected from Geno? He said, I did.
Well,
and then he repreferenced a Tony top 5 where he
I had it in week 4,
well,
though.
I mean,
that was week
but it's
1.
also after good performance. I think what Dan was asking is, did anyone in preseason say that Geno Smith? I laughed at the notion that Geno Smith was a starting quarterback.
He cited himself, and what he said was literally just reading a quote that Geno said.
Right.
So when you ask, did anyone in football see this coming, the answer is Geno Smith saw this coming.
They wrote Geno off, and he didn't write back.
Exactly. I don't know what the problem is here.
I still don't even understand that quote.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
Nobody.
You get it, though.
No, we get it.
Like pen pals.
I get it, but I don't get it. But I get it.
Billy, they wrote
You
him
know what I mean?
off, right? He got a letter in the mail saying, "Hey, the NFL's written you off."
Wouldn't he
To
write?
not give it power, he didn't write
Who's
back.
they?
Stamps.
But if
There were
he
no stamps
if he
on
was
it.
if he proved them wrong, wouldn't that be him writing back?
No.
Hey, I am here.
No, he
I'm
doesn't
writing
have to
back.
write back. He gets to people see
His
him on
play
the
does the
TV,
writing.
right? Exactly, and go, "Oh man, we wrote off
So
Geno Smith."
they wrote him off, so he gets a letter in the mail that just says off.
Yes,
And he doesn't write back.
exactly.
He
Because
should
knew.
write back on.
But he didn't write back.
He didn't
He
write
didn't
back.
write back.
The
No,
play
no.
wrote back. The play
Did he
wrote
not-
back for him.
Did he not write back because he was so confident or because he wasn't sure, so he didn't want to
No, he was
write
confident.
back?
He was confident.
Maybe he dictated it.
You guys have the letter from everybody in the NFL. I feel like it was every team in the league wrote him a letter that had the word off in it, and he threw them all in a paper shredder.
Off or awful? That's a good joke.
His wastebasket is full of off.
Right,
It's
no, it's
awful.
like if he was getting things from a bunch of teams, some people would write off.
Disagree
some
on that,
people
huh?
wrote awful.
Dan.